Hmm. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the paint off my nails because I'm working from home today. I've just been for a run. You'll see if you're on the TikTok version, I have literally just done a video about doing hard things. I hate running. I'm working from home today. I have an exhibition next Thursday and I have paint all over my nails. So I don't have a nail brush, so I'm using a scrubber. And ask me anything. I'm on YouTube and I'm on TikTok, and I need to get better at this because you send me so many DMs and I don't get them. It's I can just lose them. So ask me anything to do with art. Your accent's lovely. Thank you. Northern Ireland, born and bred. Let me know where you are in the world if you are on here. But in terms of my art, if you are new here, YouTube as well, I am a professional artist. I don't look like it now because I'm in my post-workout gear. I am almost 17 years self-employed. I did a degree in fine art. I did a master's. I'm not sharing that so that you feel like you feel inadequate if you are building an art career and you do not have it. I actually mentor the majority of people that I mentor, and I don't publicize that actually, but I will in 2026 again. The majority of people I mentor are not have not gone through art college. So I definitely believe there is space for all creativity in the world. And but for me, it was great for me. And actually, eventually, I'll probably push you towards something like that if you mentor with me. Not push you, but encourage you because it's very fulfilling to know when you have gone through. I'm leaning down because I'm just so badly doing. For me, art college has really is the reason that I feel extremely confident after 20 years, even since I did my master's, in staying in front of you and in my art. Because whenever you study something, so whether you decide to go back to study, whether you have studied, whether you'll never study, art college and being steeped in your art and in your practice is one of the best ways to grow. When I was on my residency in Portugal, it was there was 8 of us, and there were some people were professional artists, other people were not, and it became pretty clear that everybody wanted to know about the variety of the skills that I have. So for you, it might be that you want to become better at drawing. You don't have to go to art college for that, but you should sign up to some sort of drawing course or use my YouTube, actually, of course. Well, YouTube's more painting. But I just think if whenever I was in Portugal and it was a residency, it was 3 weeks. I'm getting the paint off my fingernails if you've just joined. It was 3 weeks. For me, 3 weeks away from my life was absolutely it was massive, right? I've got 3 children. I've got a husband, I've got a cat and a dog, a mortgage, a business, and people that work for me. They are like self-employed, but they come in and they help me run a business. Um, so for me going away, it felt like, oh my goodness, she's just going on a jolly. But it was not a jolly. And I know that makes it sound quite dramatic because I was not serving my country when I was in Portugal in a residency. I was not saving lives, but I am very serious about my art practice and I'm very serious about what I bring to the table. And the reason that I start the chat about you taking courses or you getting better at the skills that you have is because that will inform whether you want to be in the art space or not, because it's not an easy space to be. And I think that what's happened in a lot in the world is we've come to a stage where it's, if it doesn't look just like the picture, now, not in every concept, of course. If you go to the art gallery contemporary, you're not going to feel that. But if it doesn't look perfect, or in school, if you're taught how to paint something and it has to look just like the person, and if it doesn't look just like the person, then you're bad at art. But that's a very scary, very dodgy line to go down, and I don't want that for you. I want you to be comfortable in making the art that you make yourself. So for me, the art that I make, you'll see in my page. Sorry, I'm still trying to get paint off my nails from yesterday before I start cooking. I've just been for a run. It was disgusting. I hated it. But I've just done a video here on doing hard things, and you'd really think I would have a better angle for you. But in terms of the work that I make abstract paintings that you can see here. This is one of them. I make poetry as well. You can see where we have that for you. It might be different. You might be here because you want to learn how to paint lips. A lot of my followers are. And kind of been up against that a little bit. And I don't know why, because all I need to do is sit and make content for you to help your skills. But I would say that my art extends outside of the palette as well, and always has. And to go back again, having done a master's and a degree in that, it just means that I've explored. Oh, sorry, I forgot to bring YouTube on with me on that. I'm just getting you. Just bear with me. Ask me anything anyway in the comments. Anything about art, anything about painting, anything about your how to run a creative business. I'm going to be going off here because I need to make myself something to eat, get myself showered. But my home office is quite fun to see, so I'll bring you in there. And yeah, I would just say, if you're here today, if this is the only video you watch, if you have a skill, then you want to develop that skill and you want to feel like you're bringing yourself to that skill. So if it's painting, you want to make sure that you're bringing yourself to it. You don't need to have a little picture beside you and you paint it like so. That's why whenever I teach you how to paint, I give you the template and then I want you to fly with it. So if you are listening and you are really good at faces, well, why not try to experiment with like painting a little bit looser, so it's not just an identical eye, or it's not just the skin color is like exactly the skin color. Why not try it so that you've got blues or purples or any of that? And then in terms of a business, if you're building a creative business, which I know I'm also streaming on TikTok, you are stay in it. Like, I'm 16 years, nearly 17 years in building a business, and it really doesn't get any easier. My husband and I were sitting last night, almost midnight, just like thinking, how do we get here? Like, how do we get to this stage where it still does not just go like this, you know? And I'm really open and honest about that. I'm not in a I'm so open and honest way, but in a like, this is my life that I've chosen to do. I don't capitalize on a lot of the opportunities that I get, even though you see that I do capitalize on a lot of opportunities, in that I went to Portugal on that residency, in that I'm having an exhibition next week, which feels very, it's crazy because it's also private because of the location. I was approved by the Belfast Harbour Commission. So it feels really scary because I've had exhibitions where literally nobody came to them. That happened. It was my sister-in-law, her friend, and my friend, my best friend. So I've sat in that seat and I've walked the walk when it's really scary and you are trying to build a business and it feels like nobody cares and you think you'd rather go and go back to waitressing, which is what I did whenever I was a student. And then I kept that on. I've also been a community artist. So some days whenever I'm just waiting and chasing clients or having difficult conversations with people who want a bargain, I'm the same as you, like, but I've chosen this life. I'm 42 and it's actually really exciting, especially for you on TikTok and you on YouTube. I am going to get my butt in gear and get making content for you guys, because basically I'm not approved as a content creator on TikTok yet, but I was really quickly approved. I say quickly. I was 10 years teaching on YouTube before any of my videos got traction. It was just me and my mom that watched them. And any of my clients that would come into one-to-one person workshops, I would send them on. But the YouTube was picked up in March and then I was approved, but I don't even capitalize on that. Like, so I have thousands of you on YouTube that I'm going to get my butt in gear and serve you, because actually showing up and teaching and even like this sharing it's company for me, because it's so lonely being an artist on your own. My friends actually and I chat with each other once or twice a week who are artists as well. And it's also the real deal. Like, I am not supported. I'm supported by a very supportive husband, but I've built every part of this business myself. No rich parents behind me. This kitchen was my blood, sweat, and tears. My husband is a teacher, has a steady job. So a lot of people would say to me as well, why do you give so much free online? But this is the space that we live in. And I'm thankful that my paintings sell. and that my courses, which I'm so bad at promoting, sell. But anyway, either way, I love getting to do. Hi, Natalie, nice to see you. But ask me anything about art. I could ramble all day. And I also heard a thing that was like, put on and just like go about your day. But it feels kind of like weird that I don't engage with you. But I really need to make myself something. Oh, here's an avocado. I'm going to see if it is good to go. I'll tell you about Portugal. So Portugal was a residency that you, I'm good, thanks, good. Portugal was a residency that you apply to. So the way that artist residencies work, people think they're a retreat. Oh my heavens, I wish it was a retreat. If it was a retreat, I wouldn't have come home. That's the way I say about it. I think this avocado is going to be gone. My shot. Oh, guys, we could paint this. I did do a big, massive avocado painting once. So Portugal residency, 3 weeks. 3 weeks is a long time. I don't even go on holiday. I don't even have the privilege of a holiday for longer than 7 days in the last 16 years, because building a business, you just can't do that. So this felt like an indulgence before I left. Then I went there, and you can scroll back through my videos on TikTok and see. I was there. I was in a child's bed. My feet were hanging off the end of the bed. Other people had an ensuite. I did not have an ensuite. I had a child's bed, but what I will say was the view from my window was over the place in Ariello. So if you've just joined, I'm telling you about the residency that I'm a week back today, which is mad, because when I was away, 3 weeks went like this. Whereas my life is normally like this, and I love it and I thrive on it. And I've spoken to, the counselor about how I need to undo that. But for you, you might be the same. You might just feel like your life is absolutely packed and your creativity is the last thing to come. For me, my creativity has always been pushed into little pockets around my life. So I've got kids, which I've absolutely chosen to have. They are now 9, 14, and one is almost 17. I'm in the UK. He's going to learn how to drive soon. And I drive a 2006 Defender, so pray for us. But I have 3 kids. So my life that I've chosen to have is very busy. I also became a personal trainer it just reminded me that I graduated from that 2 years ago. When I turned 40, I was like, I'm going to become a trainer and it's going to change my life. But actually what I did was I added to the busyness of my life, and that was wonderful, but it meant that my art got pushed out even more. So my art continued to just fit into the pockets. And I believe that your art grows and it is your most soul-driven art when it is allowed more than a little pocket of space. So I was getting commissions and I was fitting those into the pockets, which meant that my own art went further back. Do you like these hand gestures? It feels very... But, going to Portugal felt like the biggest pocket I've ever been in since I was a student. And even when I was a student, I was married by the masters. But when I was doing my degree, when I was doing my art degree, I was so bold. And this is why. And my second boy is, quite is misunderstood often in school. And I think about myself, it doesn't get it from the hedges. That's what we talk about in Northern Ireland. So when I was in art college back in the day, I had 3 jobs because, again, so I had my student debt to pay, but I also had to pay for my rent, which was disgusting. My mom was a pig farmer growing up, and she said that the pigs slept in better than what my student accommodation was. Anyway, and I had a wee Peugeot 106 that I had to run. So I was in art college. I got all these jobs, and I was pulled aside by the tutor, who was like, "You've got a lot of talent, and you're about to chuck it all away." And that was a repetitive theme. And now that I'm saying this, I'm feeling like it's literally deja vu with my second boy. So I've always thrived on fitting my art in these pockets. So the reason I'm sharing all this is because by the time so fast forward 20 years, and 20 years of doing the same thing, of fitting your art in, of filling every gap. My dad died when I was 7. That's not new to the majority of you that follow me, but I do blame a little bit of, or put a credit, sorry, not blame. I credit a lot of that busyness to grief too, because I think when you're grieving or you don't know how to grieve as a 7-year-old, you fill your life. And my mum filled her life. And I'm so glad that she did, because she got herself up and out as a 42-year-old whose husband had died. I can't even imagine it. It's the age I am now. She was 41 actually when he died. But I that's what I saw. I saw busyness. I see hard work, and I see farming background. I see, like, my granddad. There's a lot of hard work has always been in what I do. All of this to say, being in Portugal on a 3 weeks residency felt like, who did I think I was, allowing myself that time? You need to fill your time all the time, Ali. Your art is not good enough. Your art is not worthy of giving it the space. What about your kids? What about blah, 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 blah. So the way I describe it is, I had 20 years of being a coil. If you think of a coil, wrapping and wrapping and wrapping, I could nearly cry actually think about it. Like 20 years of that. It's very difficult to unwind a coil that is so tightly in its own. Like, that's all I knew, was just keep going, keep wrapping. So it took me a lot of my friends keeping me there. I nearly booked a flight every day in Portugal to come home. Not because anybody was wrong or anything was bad, but because I just couldn't cope with the silence and with this gift of time. We all have the gift of time. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. I just happen to prefer thrive on manic. However, let's just bring that across to the work. So the art that I fit into these pockets, my little visual thing, which worked and connected and grew a business and made me money, when I bring it over here and I let it fit into a massive space, it literally fell out of me. And that's the one thing I was able to voice from day 3 or 4, when I realized I was going to be working on this theme of grandmothers. And I was drawing a lot of the women in the town, and my granny would have been 100 whenever I was away, if she had still been alive. When this came to me, I really quickly was like, oh, the work is in me. And you'll be the same. Like, if you are here because you're making art and you want to make art your full time, or your dream is in 10 years, or your dream is to sell, or your dream, it is inside you. And that sounds so woo-woo for a Thursday morning. I can't believe it's Thursday. I'm home awake. It's mad. But that is how I would describe being away. So the world part of me, the worldly part of me, really struggled with, like, who do you think you are? Yes, you're awarded this, but doesn't mean anything. You're abandoning your clients, you're abandoning your kids being here. But then the art creative side of me was just like, this is what you've worked for. You deserve this. This is how I grow. This is where your best work is, Ali. And again, all that's to tell you that when you create space, you allow your work to fall out of you, because it's inside of you. But creativity in trying to fight against the noise is counterproductive. So I can see why artists have gone on residencies for years. I've been awarded another one in New Mexico, but I'm not sure about, God bless the grannies. I know. So what the theme of my work at the minute is your granny was once a girl. And this is really important to me to do that. So maybe I'll read the poem live and then I'll leave you, because I'm just talking at you here. My dream is that people will ask me so many questions that I can just this is the dream whenever I get better at streaming, because when you talk at people. But anyway, I would definitely recommend doing a residency if you're serious about doing your art, but don't underestimate the fact that it's not a jolly. By the time I got to Lisbon, I couldn't wait. I was counting the hours to get home, which is so funny, because I would be definitely not a home bird, but here we are. And like the granny's poem, I don't have it. It's on my phone. It's here. It'd be great to hear the poem. Okay, let me pull that up for you. It's been so oh it's been so nice to have. So the poem is called Your Granny Was Once a Girl. And I'm in the wrong thing here. Your granny was once a girl. And it is Substack. It's on Substack. I'm on Substack as well. But the poetry element of what I do is something that I would say has been dormant in me for a long time. And I didn't really expect it to come to the forefront, but it did. And here is the poem. Where are you? Oh, goodness gracious. Here we are. Okay. So the poem is called Your Granny Was Once a Girl, and here it is. Her hair is wiry and a little thin, collarbone visible, hairs on her chin, a mass of curlers on the crown of her head, a familiar sight right before bed. But once she had hair down to her waist, combed with intention, love, and grace. Her lip stain was ruby, and her knuckles less so, a colour on her nails and visible toes. Sandals with heels and a handbag that's neat, she once graced the dance floor all night on her feet. Her school years were simple, duties aplenty, hopscotch in the playground, milk carton empty. Simple meals, meat and 2 veg, on days less fruitful, blackberries from the hedge. She is a matriarch now, but that's not always so. A voice indoors, yes, but often below her male counterparts simply because she's a girl. Stand straight, speak nice, give us a twirl. Expectations, to-do lists, she's had them all. Love and loss bounced back from a fall. Your grandmother is forgetful, but that wasn't the case. The face of her lover, she knew every trace. We often forget her emotions were valid. They led to this chapter. Now we write the ballad. Her memory is faint. Her body is smaller. Despite the large font, she's forever our scholar. The words of a poem she may never hear. Your grandmother was once a girl. Hold that thought dear. So there you are. I think you've made a painting and would like to sell it. Where do you start? Okay, where do you start to sell a painting? Sorry, my nose is running. Great question. Right. So the simple answer is you like have you got an online space at all? Are you making like Instagram, no matter what age you are in the world? Thank you, Amy. Thank you. Is it dead or destroy? Destroyer. Destroyer. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening to my poem. It is so in terms of selling a painting, it's not easy. I totally get that. I will actually put this in a little document for people. Instagram is free. TikTok is free. YouTube is free. You can set up, so certainly in terms of your or Facebook, no matter what age you are, Facebook is relevant. I would put it on there first. Reach out to people that you know that like your work, enjoy your work, and then start to document your work. So what I mean by that is take photos of it, take a little video of it, tell people about it. Start with that. The exchange of money, I can't tell you what to price, and I get this all, and I mean capital A, capital L, capital L, all the time. People ask me about how to price their work. You will know in your head what price you'll not sell it for, or what price how important is it for you to hold on to it? So I can't give you information on pricing. I do think it's better to go down than go up. I actually give people still all the time. It's so difficult, the conversations about pricing for me. And I'm how many years in this, and I'm selling paintings, between £300 and £8,000, 9,000. Like that is that's the one side of it. But in terms of if you've made your beautiful painting, let me see it. Let me know what it is that you paint as well, because you'll want to think about your hashtags and think about whether you're going to hashtag abstract art, although hashtags I think are not as popular anymore. So if you start an Instagram, is it going to be your name? Yes, I would say it should be your name. I can tell you that for free. I have a client who is a mentoring client, and she, on her website, we landed on it and it was her name and then it had art on the end of it. And I was like, please drop that. We dropped it because your name is your work is your name. So obviously a website is the most obvious way to sell work. It's very easy to make a website now. My one that I have is Squarespace, and it's allyhart.com, but it was built by someone, but it's still a template. And whenever I had my fitness business, I built my own using Squarespace. So if you're really serious and if you're making art and you want to sell it, like a website is the quickest, easiest way to do that. Even if people contact you on DMs, direct messaging on your Instagram or on your Facebook, it still means a website just levels you up, and a website also people can browse it. So they might not buy from you on the website using it, but they will likely look at your site. Because even though I sold a painting last week, a small one on my website, but the hits on the website are still, like I looked yesterday, it was like 1,800 visits or whatever in a week, or 1,800, yeah. And then I think then like 800 people of that stayed longer than like the 3-minute window. And then so that's a lot of people. If you think about, 1,800 people in a room, or in my son's school, it's a heck of a lot of people. So for you, you might think, and I celebrate my mentoring clients when they say to me, I had 100 people last month. When was the last time you had 100 people in your house? Like 100 people is a lot of people. So if you're starting out, start with the people that you know, start showing it to people because it really helps you get over the embarrassment of putting yourself out there. You should go on my Instagram, Ally Hart, ALYHARTE. That's my husband. He leaves his laptop home and it does this every time he gets an email. I put up a video of me yesterday and I said, because 85% of my audience is female. And I am so proud to say that. Do you know for 13 years, I've had social media, maybe more than that. My baby, my second boy's 14. And from the very beginning, it's been that. And I'm delighted with that. I never wanted to fall into this trap of showing up and being the influencer, being, full cake of makeup before I turned the camera on or anything like that. So I put up a video last night and it was me going wild as paint. So you're going to get to the stage where you'll be able to show your true self, because we all do hide behind a lot of this. But whenever you expose yourself to your friends and family first, that you want to do this and you stand by it, and you make your website, which automatically you're not going to hide anymore, and you make your social media, which filters towards your website. It's this growing, then you make reels of your process. So you're letting people behind the camera a little bit. It's exciting. And I'm here to be your cheerleader. I'm nearly in the outfit for it. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'll come back on when I'm in there, but I have to say, because I enjoy talking, it means, and I could talk about art all day, every day. Ask me anything to do with art. I'm extremely passionate about it, pretty opinionated about it, and want everybody to feel creative in their most creative self. So when I stream, I'm going to put it on in there. I'm going to do my work. I have my list on my phone so I don't veer left or veer right. Thank you so much. It's an abstract Scottish landscape. It sounds beautiful. I lifted one of my Donegal abstract landscapes yesterday and I actually went like this. Why have I not got on my site? And it was just me, myself, and I in my studio. I just thought it was so beautiful. How exciting. I didn't even know. Sometimes people leave comments and then they leave. So I didn't even know if you'd be listening. Hopefully that helps. Instagram, you can do that within the next 3 minutes. And then let me know. Come back and let me know. I'm so excited for you. Great. Right. So yeah, ask me anything, any on the videos that I've got before. It means then I've got content to come on and speak to you about. But it could be a very dangerous path, couldn't it? Is this distraction or is this exciting and build? I'm talking to myself. I could be on here all day talking to you, but anything to do with art at all, write it in the comments of previous videos and I can come on here. But I'm going to go and eat so that I'm not distracted. My ADHD is coming to the forefront. I'm undiagnosed, but my son is officially diagnosed. And sometimes I look at his the help that he gets and think that probably would have kept me in line a little bit more. Anyway, we are 42 managed to get here. Bye.